Hey, ladies and gentlemen, Golden Hurricane here. Yes, I changed my name on here because I was kind of getting bored of having just my first and last name on here. So I was like, okay, let's give this a little tweak. Anyways, for the new start of everything, I figured we'll get back into the swing of things. So, let's talk about more discoveries of my DA2. So, for those who don't know, the National Library Service for the Blind, shout out to them for the new book players. I love mine. It's amazing. It's a life changer. I've actually listened to well over 20 books on this thing, and the battery is still great. Some of them are short, some of them are long. Excuse me. And I'm going to tell you guys something. Now, I don't know if I did a video talking about my favorite headset to use for this thing, but it is the JBL headset. Now, there was Pick and B wireless headphones for about $20 I got from Amazon. I've snapped a pair because of how trash it was. Well, when you're listening to your book player and you're in the kitchen making something, and let's say you're using Audible and the book you want to listen to is done, you have other books to listen to. So instead of looking up YouTube videos, which is going to take a while, you can turn your book player on, turn on the headset, and it'll connect right away. With the Pick and B, it takes about 35 seconds to say connecting, and it doesn't say connecting correctly. It says connecting. And the people who made it were just trying to hurry it up and not do a good job. So I figured, okay, well, I have a pair of headphones that are not in use. They're Bluetooth. And I almost bought a pair, but I realized, hey, I have a pair of JBLs I'm not using, so instead of donating them to somebody or giving them away, I made do with what I had. Now, considering the fact that I went to Best Buy in 2023 and bought these for well over $100, I figured, okay, these will work. Not a problem, right? Bingo. I can sit in the kitchen or the dining room when I'm eating, and my book player can be all the way in my bedroom, and I can pick up everything that it says. I don't need to set the book player down on the table because this thing is not compact, but it can do the job, It's less space. I don't have to play and resume the book. I can, get away from my phone to eat, unless there is an Audible book out in the drama series, and I can listen to that book breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And while that's going on, when I'm done with that, the time, okay, I can listen to YouTube videos is when I want to look up something. Now, I'm really happy with the way that this came out. I've tried this for almost 2 months. I haven't really used my book player much, and it's like, okay, why do I have it if I'm not going to use it? And this goes to show that I prefer to listen to books while I'm sitting down. So when I'm moving around like I'm doing now, I'm talking, I'm interacting, and stuff like that. So I do take time to actually sit instead of hovering over a meal and just spinning around while eating. I don't think that would... I mean, I can do that. I've done it before, but it's not what I prefer to do. So, I'm an interesting little character. I'm not little, but I'm an interesting character. So I figured, well, you know what? Why not? But I have gotten some really helpful feedback. I've actually talked to a few of my friends about how to, make my YouTube experience better. Because, according to some people, they think, well, you're talking on the phone. And I'm like, okay, But, I hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are staying safe. Let's talk about, and I want you guys to share, interact, do whatever. And before we get into the video, please like, share, and subscribe for algorithms. That'll help a lot. So, on that further note, for those who use your favorite devices, what do you like to listen to while you're eating? Now, some people will listen to a football game, a baseball game, a basketball game. Some people will listen to things, well, we're not even going to touch that because that's a matter of opinion, right? I like to listen to different tech videos. If I find tech videos that are interesting, I will listen to it. If there are accessibility features, I listen to it. I like the videos. And of course, lately with iOS stuff, I have been keeping in contact with that because the updates are fascinating, right? So the updates are fascinating. And I like them. I like, learning about the updates. And I listen. I really do. Sometimes I'll listen to prank calls. Some of them are hilarious. So, but what stuff do you listen to when you're eating? Now, some people will socialize. Some people will talk. Lately, I've been listening to audiobooks, and I will listen to them on my phone if it's in the drama series, meaning, well, not drama, but acting out, I will listen to different people acting out different scenes and stuff like that. But when you already finished the book, what's the point in listening to it again? So, with me right now, I have 184 books on my book player that I listen to. And I tend to go for the short stories first, knock them out of the way, and then I go for my favorite long ones. And now I'm trying to get into listening to books I've never heard before. So I'm diving into stuff, and I'm taking care of the short books right now because I have more of them than I have anything else. I actually sat there and downloaded them, and it took at least 5 to 6 hours to get over 100 books downloaded. And then you guys are going to be like, what are we going to do next? Well, I've been planning a little YouTube mini, a few YouTube videos, and I've actually ran them through in my head. And the first thing I thought about was, should I cover the Victor Reader Stream 3 and how to put podcasts on an SD card? And then I thought, okay, well, I'm going to kind of fiddle around with it, but how do I do it? Do I give you guys the real authentic version of it? meaning the long way around, or should I download them first, then show you how to do that, how to put them on an SD card if it's possible? Well, I thought I could do the third option, which is I can wait, because let's be completely honest here, I don't really use that much. As a matter of fact, the only time I've ever used the Victor Reader Stream 3 was to record. Now, I have heard of I really think it's cool. I'm not gonna lie. They have a talking recording device. I'm trying to think of it at the top of my head. A friend of mine that I talk to on occasion, it's not every day I talk to this individual, but she's told me about it. I've looked it up. It's $100. I'm like, okay. Then the one that I was gonna show you is from the Braille Superstore, and that's $299. And I figured, okay, well, that's about the size that's about, as pricey as half a phone, half a flip phone or more. So I think for price, some people say if it costs more, it works. I don't necessarily agree with that. So the question you gotta ask yourself is, what will you use it for? And I used to not be like that. And I was like, okay, well, I think it's cool. We're gonna get it. But now, when I made the video, I'm like, would I need this? Would I use it one time to interact with you guys with it? Like, show you guys how to work it and then just forget all about it or something? Am I getting it just to keep track with time? What am I getting? Why do I want it? Yes, it's appealing. So you gotta learn what you want, what you need, I guess. But I just work with what I have. So what do I think is more portable than the book player? Well, if I recommend the player. It's free, and it's the same as a Victor Reader Stream 3, but if you don't want to record on it and just use it for books, just get the DA2. It's your best option. So you guys heard how it sounds, and I have it powered off at the moment. But I used to listen to books way back in the day, until one day I woke up and started moving around and kind of not engaged in books as much. But I recently started this trend at the age of 24, 25 years old, where I got back from somewhere and I decided, okay, well, this is what I want. So I started listening to whatever I can get my hands on. I was always looking for long videos to eat during dinner instead of having to switch. And then I realized, okay, well, I'm building a playlist for myself to listen to, and I can, go in Audible and I can do whatever, I can really expand and listen. But then I'm like, okay, well, what if I don't want to listen to this same old? And that's when I'm like, okay, well, they're coming out with this new product, and that's when I got it in August. So I made the unboxing video, of course. My friends wanted to see it, so I was like, hey, I've been thinking about doing a YouTube video. Is it okay if I can have you on my, have you on my channel? So it worked out completely great. We were just going completely bonkers, and it was just amazing. Shout out to other YouTube channels. Shout out to Wholehearted Entertainment and Skylar Jarvis Media. Shout out to them. And I'm pretty sure if you, I'm not sure which one's holding what, but I've done a podcast with them. We've talked about different things, so if you guys are more interested in checking that out, you can check Wholehearted Entertainment. I think the video was back in October of last year, or Skylar Jarvis Media. Now, I'm not sure which one holds them, but if you want to check the podcast we did, I was practically hanging out with them, and I was hanging out with my friend in person, and him and I were just catching up because we haven't seen each other in 3 years. He's a really cool friend. Him and I have been friends for 13 years, and I appreciate the friendship. I appreciate everything that him and his family and all of that has done for me. And I can't say anything more other than gratitude. So, but I came on here to talk about the headset, and I gave you guys a complete, thing. I really think you guys can either, you could check different headsets. Just don't try $20 headsets, because that will work for something like a Victor Reader Stream. So I may not snap mine. I'll come up with a use for it, knowing me, because every time things had broke, I'd always, if it didn't work, I'd always break them, But I'm pretty sure I could find a use for them. I can hook them up to the Victor Reader Stream 3 that I have and just use them, Use it about as much as I'd use that. Like if I, for an example, want to, listen to a podcast or something, I can get it on there and play around. But I used to do mine with recordings, and that was it. I used to be very adamant about, my SD card, and, with 14 gigabytes, it's like, do I really want other things I'm not going to listen to? So then I'm thinking like, okay, well, it's okay to have different medias on there, so I don't have to have just my voice, which I will not listen to my own voice. So, I record for other people, and that's okay. So, anyways, you guys stay safe. I hope that by the time this is uploaded and everything, I know that the storm is going to be long gone. We're going to experience really low temperatures in the single digits. But I hope you guys have remained safe during this winter storm. And I look forward to talking to you guys in the next video. Have a good one.